And here we go again, day 3. Just going to keep plugging away at these and practicing, and hopefully they get easier and easier as you go. We are still doing the same 4 steps, describing or defining our variables. What do the X and Y represent? Writing equations based on the words, solving them using whatever method is easiest, and then stating our answer as a sentence that answers the question. So in example 1, it says 2 angles are supplementary. The larger angle is 48 degrees more than 10 times the smaller angle. Wow. Find the measure of each angle. So that last part helps me identify my variables. X is going to be the measure of, let's say, angle 1. Then Y would represent the measure of angle 2. Okay, so we've done part A. In part B, we need to write a system of equations. We have 2 variables, we need 2 equations. So supplementary, I honestly don't know how much you've studied this, so I'm going to tell you or refresh your memory that means in geometry that they total 180 degrees. So total means addition. So that means angle 1 plus angle 2 has to add up to 180 degrees. The larger angle, which doesn't really matter, let's say Y. So if we're going to have Y be our larger angle, is going to be equals 48 degrees more than 10 times the smaller angle. Okay. So how do we do 48 more than 10 times the smaller angle, which is going to be X? So we're going to let this one be the smaller one, this one be the larger one. So 48 more than 10 times. Well, 10 times X would look like that. 48 more than that would add 48. Okay, so I used these words, supplementary, to get this first equation, and I used this whole mouthful, 48 degrees more than 10 times the smaller angle, to create that second equation. And now I'm ready to solve. And looking at these, I think I'm going to use substitution, because I can take out this y and sub in that 10x plus 48. So I'll have one equation, x plus, and now I'm going to substitute in 10x plus 48, and I'm going to land at 180. Solving that, putting these two together, I'll have 11x plus 48. To get rid of the 48, I'm going to subtract that. So now I have 11x equals 180 minus 48, which leaves me with 132. To get that 11 out, I need to divide the 132 by 11. So I'm finding that angle X is, the measure for the first angle is going to be 12, keeping in mind that they're angles, so I'm going to call it 12 degrees. Well, now I need to find my y, but I had an equation up here that makes it easy to do. Y will equal 10 times what you got for x plus 48. And I'm simply looking at this equation and putting in the 12 that I got for x. So if I take my calculator and do 10 times 12 and add 48, then I'm going to come out with a y value of 168. So when I answer their question, the question says to find the measure of each angle, I would say, and I'm answering as a sentence, the smaller angle, which is the one we used x to represent, is 12 degrees. The larger angle, which we were using y to represent, is 168 degrees. So this is actually my answer to the problem, and everything else is the work that gets me there. All right, let's try again. So in this next example, it starts off similarly. It says 2 angles are complementary. Now, if you aren't familiar with the term complementary, we have to just take a second to know that that means they total 90 degrees. The larger angle is 3 degrees less than twice the measure of the small angle. Okay, so again, that's a lot, and that's going to help us find our equations as well, but we'll leave it for now. What it's asking for here is for, again, us to find the measure of each angle. So since they, again, refer to the smaller and the larger, I'm going to go ahead and let x equal the measure of the smaller angle. And I'm going to let y represent the measure of the larger angle. So I need some relationships. The first one's easier. Complementary, they total 90. So the measure of the small angle plus the measure of the large angle has to add up to 90 because they are complementary. That one's easy peasy compared to the second one. Let's think about this. The second one starts off, the larger angle is. So since I'm letting y be the larger angle, that's the same as y equals. The larger angle is 3 degrees less than twice the measure of the small angle. So twice the measure of the small angle would look like that, and then 3 degrees less would look like that. So that is my larger angle y is 3 less than twice my small angle. And glancing at this one, this looks again like something I'd probably use substitution for, because I can take my 2x plus 3 and sub it in for the y. So now when I go to solve, I'm going to take my top equation, x plus, and where there used to be a y, I'm substituting in the 2x minus 3. Solving for x, these go together to be 3x. Taking away 3 from that, I have that 3x equals 87. And then when I divide that by 3, my x comes out to be 29. So I'm getting 29 for x. I need to use that now to find y. I'm going to use this equation because it straight up says y will be 2 times what you got for x and then minus 3. So when I do that, I end up with 55. So those are my x and y values, but we want to answer in a sentence form. And so just like the one above, I'm going to say the smaller angle is 29 degrees and the larger angle, which was our y, is 55 degrees. So again, there's my actual answer to their question of finding the measure for each angle. So again, use these as a model for what you're going to practice today. So tackle those day 3 word problems and become an expert. Have a great day.